15 minutes or so, we'll go through how does this affect your security problem? All right, what if a machine could learn how to do all security problems at the network level, to do the detection, to do the mitigation? What if, and I mean without human intervention? What if security breaches can only be prevented through automation and AI? What if that exists today? Who's familiar with the concept of singularity? Anybody? A few people? Anybody? If you're not, I really encourage you to think about this as like a leisure reading topic. It's been around for a while. The idea of singularity is simple. It's the idea that it's an eventuality, the concept of singularity. And there's many people who claim ownership of this idea, but nevertheless, there's some major thinkers on this. The book Singularity is actually, I think, a tough read, but it's math-driven. But the idea here is that at one point, computers will get to the point where they're better than the human mind and actually will reprogram themselves based upon some sort of perception that was unintended. So that computers can actually go about having, for the lack of a better word, free will. Right? Free will. That's singularity, right? So this idea of singularity is basically accelerating the idea that basically there's this acceleration of automation, pace of change, and that things have gone exponential. It's not linear. We know this. This is nothing new. What we don't know is what this looks like in the next 10 to 15 years. We're not talking large amounts of time at this point with the pace of change, right? So if you think you have a large amount of time to sit back and just scratch your head and think about a lot of these problems, I'd encourage you that you do not. That because of the pace of change, that what you thought in the past used to take 5 years now takes maybe a year or less, and what used to take 10 years or a generational change now happens far less time, right? What singularity suggests is that by 2023, the human mind will have, the computers will have reached the capacity of a single human mind and will be able to be sentient, right? 2023 is not that far away. In fact, I hope to have retired by the time it happens. And what worries the heck out of me is I still might be working when that happens, and I'll be talking to, I don't know, some sort of machine. But this year, if you didn't catch it, the computers have reached the level of a mouse. Right? So computers are at or above the level of a mouse. I'm not sure that that even I am above a level of a mouse. But what they suggest on algorithms is that by 4045, there'll be a single computer that collectively is more sentient than every living human being, collectively. That's 20 years later. Right? So why am I bringing that up? Because if you haven't been tracking it, you are no longer fighting people in security. If you haven't been tracking it, you're fighting people behind bots. You're fundamentally at war. Crime, cybercrime, one of the motivations in security defense, cybercrime has exceeded this year all crimes collectively. So there's now more cybercrime than all other crimes put together in burglaries and criminal environments. War always comes with an attribute of cybercrime. Espionage aside, hacktivism aside, just crime, right? How do these crimes happen? How does the wars happen? Cyber wars. How does hacktivism happen? It happens by people designing. That was a great movie, wasn't it? And it happens with people putting together programs. Those programs become better automated. Those automations become better command and control. Those better command and controls become little AIs. Now, what do we mean by little AIs? This is what we mean by little AIs. I don't think in the security space, personal opinion, that we spend enough time thinking about behavior, the differences in behavior. We talk a lot of unique behavior, that patterns are no longer good enough. Regex, simple IPS signatures, we know, aren't enough. We know this, that's patterns. We know we have to go behaviors. Okay, that's great. What kind of behaviors? What's the algorithms in the behavior? The algorithms and your collection of algorithms is your uniqueness in how you fight both your personal security and your professional security. In the future, those algorithms, of course it's behavior, but those algorithms and your cache of algorithms and the way they collectively manage with each other are the way you fight this. The way you automate those algorithms is AI. The automation of algorithms is AI. If you think that nobody's doing this, or this is rocket science, and by the way, if you think this is a single company, I encourage you to look to the chart on the right. Every industry is into behavior. It's not just security. Every attribute of every industry is into automating and getting more behavioral, getting more AI, integrating AI, right? So if you think for a moment that you're fighting people today, hackers, that's not, yeah, here, there. They're putting together a collection of tools, behaviors, automation, to make sure that you, the human, with only a certain amount of dexterity, let's face it, mental dexterity, physical dexterity, cannot keep up.